Hello, this is Rob from the Myki Customer Success Team. Today I'm going to be showing you a little bit more about how to actually position and demo Myki to a customer of yours as an MSP. Now, this will not be an in-depth guide into how to use the product, how to get to around the enterprise portal, but mostly just a quick, condensed kind of overview of what to highlight as an MSP when you are explaining Myki as a product to one of your customers. Now, the three things I like to highlight when I work with customers of MSPs is showing the desktop app itself, just giving a quick overview of what it does, where it can be installed, how it can be set up, the browser extension, which is available on all the major browsers, and usually I like to explain very quickly that the mobile app is available, but I usually don't typically highlight the enterprise portal with the customer because it generally is not a place that the average end user would be in. So you'll usually want to highlight the most basic and average end user experience possible when it comes to using the product. So first, I like to actually show the desktop app and highlight that this is installed for them, or rather made available to them to be installed when they are actually invited to join their company. Now, a lot of the times you will be the person that will know best about the customer setup because they may have never used a password manager before. They may be an avid user of another product. They also may kind of dabble typically with it. Usually, I'd say the most common thing to run into as an MSP is no password manager experience whatsoever with their customers, and this will oftentimes be the first thing that they've actually encountered. So, first and foremost, you want to highlight Myki. It's a password manager. We live locally on your device, so the application that you're showing them will show the data that's stored locally. We do differ quite a bit from other products, as in we don't store their data online, and the database is synced between them through a kind of a unique proprietary method. So what they see is exactly what they have, and there's no smoke and mirrors of it hiding somewhere. Now, this is a bit different where most users will be tempted to, okay, I want to get Myki set up on another browser, and they'll go in and they'll try to sign in somewhere. They'll ask, oh, where's my email? What's my password? How do I get in? That is usually where the actual setup of the app itself is going to be different, and they will not be signing in with a username and password. So the data here, it's usually populated by being paired somewhere, paired from another application that you have, or this is the application that you have set up. So as you can see in this window, this is my data. So other than the actual data being stored differently, it is also presented a little bit differently than other password managers, and this is really broken down in the general theme of the desktop app, the browser extension, and in many ways the mobile app will be that the sections are broken up into the left side being the navigation pane of how to get around the different sections of the application to get to see the different data. So I can see payment cards in here, secure notes if I had any in this company, this 2FA token, which we do also support, as you may already know, 2FA authentication. Rather, a 2FA authenticator to generate TOTP codes. And we also have our enterprise portal baked in as well. And this middle pane is the actual accounts or items, so you can switch between them. And the right side is the data that they can reveal. So I can actually come over here and I can view the data for this password. And also with our more recent updates, you can actually update company items as well. And this is a pretty straightforward approach. This understanding the general geography of left column, middle column, and right section is going to be very helpful to being able to be quickly demoed and shown to customers. The most important part probably to show to your customers would be the browser extension, since this is where most users will live, and the browser extension has actually had a makeover very recently. So once installed, you can go to myki.com/install, and I would have your browser extension ready to be shown to your customers. And this way, they will be able to really kind of get the idea of where this is going to come from. And Myki, most end users will add data just organically by using the browser extension, and over time they'll accumulate passwords either from logging in, or they will suddenly decide that they want to export it from their browser. So browser extension, again, similar layout. Left side is a navigation pane. We have a built-in password generator right here as well. A new addition is you can make your password pronounceable. So this is sometimes very helpful to have users, if they need to use passwords outside of a browser, they want to be able to remember it a little bit easier. But you can enable this and have default lengths and change it over time as well. The vault, the password vault for your items, is at the very top, and you could tweak your settings here and there. Now, the part that is also helpful to highlight to your end users that you'd be demoing this to is being familiar with how to get passwords into Myki that are not actually readily accessible. And the key will be importing items. So what you'll want to do is click the advanced settings section, click start now, and this will actually bring up the import tool. Very handy thing to show to customers, especially if they're coming from an existing password manager. And even if they're not, and they store most of their passwords like most common users do, they do usually store their passwords in their browser. And this, especially for something like Chrome and the new Edge, you'll be able to easily bring over passwords from them because they will export it. Now, if I was to click next here, there actually is a guide how to do this as well. Very simple steps, but typically it'll just have you go through these to just go in and export it to a CSV and bring it into Myki. Now, the last thing you'll probably want to highlight to your users is the availability of the mobile app. Now, the mobile app, unfortunately, is not easily shown by me in this case, but you can definitely demo the Myki mobile app as well on your phone, and especially if you have an iOS device, the autofill features are very handy to have, and many customers would really like to be able to use their password manager on their phone. And with that in mind, that is generally the three main things I like to highlight to the average end user, which would be getting them, one, familiar with the desktop app, two, getting them familiar with the browser extension, and three, showing them the mobile app. Now, with you as the MSP, you do have a unique capability that you can share with your customers, and this is the Enterprise Portal. Now, back in the desktop app, I can go here by clicking this briefcase, and you as the MSP have the ability to very easily manage a company, and the ability to create even a demo company, since companies themselves do not cost money for actually just existing. So you can come in here. So I'm going to go to my MSP, and all I would need to do is, let's say I'm about to go on site to do a demo of Myki for these customers, or even just want to do a quick Teams meeting if you don't want to do an actual on-site visit. It's as simple as coming in, clicking Add Company, and you can even set the license to 0. Click Save, and now I'm going to have this company come up. In fact, it's going to put me directly into it. And you can even make this a company for them that you could technically invite their users to directly, and they will now have a complete demo environment. And as you see, it's actually creating the database locally. And now I've actually just spun up a demo environment, and I would recommend having probably a company like this set up to do demos with some dummy data in it. Maybe passwords you actually have for that customer if you're showing it to a specific customer, or if you wanted to use this as an opportunity to show them a completely blank slate and how easy it is to bring over their passwords, you can create this brand new one as well. But ultimately, as an MSP, you have the capability of not only managing your MSP and your company for internal use, but you can easily create demo companies and create customer companies as well. So in this case, I have the ability to spin up as many companies as I want. I am part of multiple MSPs, which is obviously not normal for most users, or especially even MSPs, but you guys being administrators in your own MSP can create a company on the fly and show it to your customers, which is very helpful, especially if you plan to make your customers' internal users admins. This is a very helpful tool because they can see that they have capabilities that they never had before. Which obviously in this case, the main purpose of having an enterprise product for password management is the ability to easily share passwords and securely send them to your end users, which is actually a very common issue with customers even that are not technology companies. You may have a customer that's a marketing firm, or in many cases like a law firm, that they have to share passwords amongst their team, but it's not easy to do so. A lot of these, especially law firms, have a login for a particular state or city government or something like that, that's only allowed to have one login assigned to that the actual lawyer themselves. Then they need to share this with their paralegals, and boom, they don't have an easy way to do that until they have something like Myki. So definitely you'll want to be able to highlight the various features of the enterprise portal, which this is not going to be a good demo, or rather video, to be able to highlight every single feature of that. We will have many more resources in our partner portal to be able to do that, but ultimately this will be a great place to show them, hey, we have all this amazing, these amazing admin tools to manage our company and our other customers. You also have the ability to do so as well. And this would be, you can highlight what it is to be an admin with Myki. But as the MSP, you'll definitely want to highlight the desktop app, showing them what it's like to have it installed on their app, which is what we're looking in now. The mobile app, when they actually have that installed, so you'll probably have to pull out your device if you have one handy, or even have them installed on their phone, since it is free to set up an account. The browser extension, since most people will be living in the browser extension on a daily basis. And finally, if you wanted to highlight the administrative side of things with your customer, bringing them to the enterprise portal and even spinning up a company for them is a great opportunity to highlight the strengths of Myki.